Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. This is Introduction to Psychology Part 2 by Dear Knowledge. Okay, so we are learning about the chapter 2, which is all about emotions, and we have covered lots of topics in the chapter 2 about emotion. So if you have missed any of the previous lecture, I have given links in the description section, as well as you can visit the playlist section where I have compiled all of the previous lectures, all of the previous videos according to separate chapters for your ease. So you can visit the playlist section if you want to assess the whole chapter of emotion. You can also check out other chapters that will be available in the playlist section if you want to assess any of the chapters. All the lectures are available over there, compiled in according to the chapters for your ease. Then you can visit the video section of our YouTube channel as well, where you will find all the previous lectures, all the videos on the previous lectures and topics. And if you want to watch any of the previous lecture, if you have missed any of the previous topic, all the videos are available on our YouTube channel. In case if you cannot find any of the specific video, any of the previous specific lecture which you want to watch and couldn't find the link or the video, you can ask us in the comment section and we will share the link with you. We will also update the description section for your ease. Okay, so in this chapter, in this video, this is going to be the chapter 2, part 15, because we are done with the theories of emotion. We have completed all the theories of emotion, and now this is going to be the part 15 of the chapter 2, in which we will be learning about the comparison between theories of emotions. So let's start with the comparison between theories of emotion. So what we have learned so far in the theories of emotion, that the common sense theory of emotion stated that if we are faced by a growling dog or a snarling dog or any kind of dog that looks angry and is about to attack. Now, according to common sense theory of emotion, our first response will be the fear, the conscious fear, or the first response will be the arousal of emotion, and after that the physiological arousal will occur, or you can say the autonomic nervous system will act accordingly. So which might causes increase in heart rate or shivering or shaking or other physiological changes that occurs during the arousal of emotion. But the James Lang William James especially, he disagreed with the common sense theory of emotion, and he stated that, and the Carl Lang and William James, they both formed a theory which was so similar that this theory is referred to as James Lang theory of emotion. So they stated that if we are faced by the same stimulus, for example, according to them, a snarling dog or a growling dog as a stimulus or first response will be the physiological arousal, or you can say autonomic nervous system arousal, which can create increase in heart rate, or which can form the shaking of a body, all the physiological changes that occurs. So according to the James Lang theory of emotion, our first response in such scenario will be the physiological response, the physiological arousal or autonomic nervous system arousal, and after that the second response will be the emotion, or you can say the conscious fear. Then if we talk about the Cannon-Bar theory of emotion, again, the same stimulus, which is the dog. It's very angry, it's about to attack, and for especially those people who have a phobia from the dog, so they will also face the same scenarios. So according to the Cannon-Bar theory of emotion, if we are walking and we see a dog and it's kind of dangerous, so the Cannon-Bar theory of emotion will say that the first response will be the subcortical brain activity, and the second response will be the autonomic nervous system arousal, which forms changes in the body, as well as conscious fear. So the Cannon-Bar theory says that the first response is going to be the brain, the subcortical brain activity, and the second response will be the simultaneous activity of the conscious fear, the emotions, and the physiological arousal, or you can say autonomic nervous system arousal. And if we move further with the other theories like Scatter-Singer cognitive arousal theory or Scatter-Singer cognitive arousal theory of emotion, or you can say Scatter's cognitive arousal theory of emotion, as well as the facial feedback theory and Lazari's cognitive mediation theory. So the Scatter-Singer cognitive arousal theory states that if same scenario occurs, the snarling dog. So the first response will include the simultaneous action of the cognitive appraisal as well as the autonomic nervous system arousal, which forms the changes in the body. The second response will be the conscious fear. So this theory has clearly been the most widely accepted theory of emotion. And after that, the facial feedback theory, it states that the first response will be the autonomic nervous system or autonomic nervous system arousal in the face, which forms a facial expression. That facial expression is basically being influenced by the autonomic nervous system arousal in the face, and it will cause cognitive interpretation of the face, of face motions, which forms the fear. So you can see that the facial feedback theory have a bit lots of different stages of different steps that are being followed and leads to the fear. And the Lazarus cognitive mediation theory states that the first response will be the appraisal of the threat, then conscious fear will be formed, and after that the bodily response will occur, which is basically, you can say, the physiological arousal. So here for your ease, I have included a small table here. You can see on the screen right here. And I have included all those points to make the comparison between the theories of emotions. So we are taking the stimulus, which is the snarling dog. I'm taking the snarling dog because the emotion, the fear emotion, basically, it includes lots of physiological changes. So that's why we are selecting the emotion, which is the fear. And then we are discussing these different theories. So let's putting these theories in the box of comparison right here, and then we will discuss one by one. So if you look at the table right here, the name of the theory, this row includes the name of the theory. The second one is about the first response, and then there is the second response, and the last one is about the statements which are formed on the basis of this theory. Now I have left the last two boxes of the statements empty for you people because I want you people to form the statements on these theories and let me know in the comment section. So let's start with the first one, which is the common sense theory of emotion. And according to the common sense theory of emotion, the first response is conscious fear. Whereas according to the James-Lange theory, the first response is autonomic nervous system arousal, which causes changes in the body. Third one is the Cannonball theory, and according to the Cannonball theory, the first response is the subcortical brain activity. Scatter's cognitive arousal theory of emotion. The name of the theory is Scatter's cognitive arousal theory of emotion. And according to it, the first response include two activities which act simultaneously. One of them is the cognitive appraisal, and the second one is the autonomic nervous system arousal, which forms changes in the body. And let's come to the facial feedback theory. The first response in the facial feedback theory is the autonomic nervous system arousal in face, which forms facial expression. And that facial expression is basically influenced by the autonomic nervous system arousal in the face. And if we talk about the Lazarius cognitive mediation theory, the first response is basically appraisal of the threat. And let's come to the second response. Now, in the common sense theory of emotion, the first response is basically conscious fear, and the second response is the autonomic nervous system arousal. And you can see the James-Lange theory, the second response in the James-Lange theory is the conscious fear, where you can see that in the common sense theory, the first response was the conscious fear, but in the James-Lange theory, the second response is the conscious fear. Conscious fear is the second response according to the James-Lange theory. Then Cannonball. According to the Cannonball, again, there are two simultaneous activities occurring, and these are the autonomic nervous system arousal, which forms the changes in the body, and the conscious fear. Now let's come to the Scatter's cognitive arousal theory of emotion, in which the second response is the conscious fear. Now, about the facial feedback theory, the second response to the facial feedback theory is the cognitive interpretation of face motion, which forms fear. And about Lazarus' cognitive mediational theory, the second response is basically fear, which leads to the bodily responses. Let's talk about the statements which are being formed, or sentences or statements which can be formed on the basis of these theories. So, in the common sense theory, if the stimulus is a snarling dog, so the first response is the conscious fear, second is the autonomic nervous system arousal. The statement which is formed is I am shaking because I am afraid. Jam's Lang theory of emotion would say I am afraid because I am shaking, because the first response which I am facing right now is the autonomic nervous system arousal, and I'm shaking. And because I'm afraid, but the James Lang theory is saying that I am afraid because I am shaking, and which clearly shows that the first response is the autonomic nervous system arousal, and the second one is the conscious fear. Now, the Cannonball theory of emotion, it will state that I am shaking and feeling afraid at the same time. Scatter's cognitive arousal theory would state that this snarling dog is dangerous and that makes me feel afraid. And I've left the last two boxes empty for you people because I want to hear from you people what type of statement you think should be formed on the base of the facial feedback theory and on the base of Lazarus' cognitive mediational theory. So this was all about today's video. If your concept is clear, you can like the video. If there was any point which was a bit confusing, you did not get it, you didn't understood, you can ask us in the comment section and we'll be happy to help you out. And our other viewers will also be there to help you. And if you're new to this channel, you can subscribe to our channel, click on the bell icon so you will never ever miss any notification. You can also share the link of this video, the link of our channel with your family members and friends, because sharing is caring. Until then, Allah Hafiz.